Hello and welcome back to Backstage at the Club Rooms, the podcast where we take a look behind the scenes of Richmond Amateur Dramatic Society productions and chat to the people bringing them to life. Today we're talking all things The Tempest, Shakespeare's magical tale of shipwreck, spirits, revenge and forgiveness. And joining me is one of my favourite people to share a stage with, who is currently trying to drink a Red Bull with his claws on, our amazing Caliban. It's Dan West.
Hello.
Hello, thanks for joining me, Dan.
It's a pleasure.
So before we get on to talking Tempest, let's start with a really important question. If you were shipwrecked on an island and can only take three things with you, what would they be?
Oof. Hard questions right out of the gate here, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't mess around on Backstage at the Club Rooms.
Well, cool. I guess I take some Ray-Bans so that I can protect myself from the sun and also be fashionable on the island.
Of course.
Take myself a nice little Costa Latte so that I have some caffeine.
Right.
And I could chill and look out on the ocean. And then I'd have a Wilson from Castaway, little Wilson ball.
With you.
Someone that I can talk to. And I'm set.
Awesome. That is the perfect response. Caffeine, style, and company. Beautiful. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't met you before, Dan, tell us a bit about yourself and your background. How did you first get involved in theatre? When did you join Brad's?
Oh, many, many years ago. So I first kind of got involved probably my year 6 play when we did Sweeney Todd the Barber.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, who were you?
So I looked at, the way I did it was I looked at the script and everyone wanted to be Sweeney Todd to the point they were having to split it between 4 people. So I was like, well, I don't want to go for that. So then I went for the person with the most lines after that, who was meant to be played by a girl.
Right.
Tobias Ragg.
Yep.
And it was great. Got to be really melodramatic. I had to do 2 solos. Awful, because I don't sing. But really enjoyed it. I did some youth theatre in Sunderland at the Royalty Theatre. So we did things like Some Like It Hot. One of the people in our class was James Baxter, who's in like Open All Hours and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was quite cool. Did some student films, short films, things like that, and then kind of left it a bit. And then when I moved to Richmond, I was thinking about this earlier. The first time I came to Rad's was the auditions for Stepping Out.
Oh, okay.
And I remember Gary being there, Lynn, Warnock, and I wasn't in the age bracket at all for what they were looking for. But I'd heard of Rad's loads and just forced myself to come along. And Lynn sent me this really nice email afterwards, being like, "I'll come back."
But you're coming back now, that's it.
And then I started with Arcadia. So that was with Kat Torbert, amazing lady, amazing director, just before COVID. And I was originally going to be Noakes. So this is the Tom Stoppard play, which probably didn't really fit me. And then after COVID came back and there was the whole, could we do it? Could we not do it? We need to rehearse some masks and COVID tests and all this. Just the casting changed. And then I did Valentine and it was a hoot. There was me, Chris Wellings, Fiona in like the modern day, explaining very complex maths and trying to get it over to an audience whilst the play also goes back in time. And it was good fun. Yeah, we had a rehearsal where we pretty much had to stop because we were corpsing.
It's not like you at all.
It's
Dan.
not, but I think we needed that and we really bonded. And we got there in the end, but I remember the ending, Kat did, everyone comes back in from the different time periods at the same time. And I'm coming in being like, it's heat, it expels or something. But you have to time all your words right and everyone else starts speaking at the same time. All the while, Taylor Swift's Wild Horses, that might be the song, the orchestra version is playing and it, you know, like the end of a TV show.
Yeah.
Where people look out a window and they're feeling sad or the end of a season. It was like that.
Okay,
it was crazy. And you all walked through a door and came down stage and that was a trip. That took us ages to get right, but it looked really good. And yeah, it was a great play.
Amazing. So what's your favourite role you've ever played?
Ooh, I don't know. I enjoyed that, apart from when the tortoise pooed on me on the first night in my hand. I love Macbeth. That was great to do. I've enjoyed everything really. Nell Gwyn was great. Doing Charles, short stories was funny, chaotic, monstrous was great because I didn't have a clue what was going on the whole time of the play, which
Really?
fit with the
I
character.
could not tell.
What else have I done? Oh, Blue Stockings. Blue Stock. They've all been different. Like Blue Stockings, I had to be really still, and I didn't like the character, but it was a challenge. Macbeth obviously is just crazy, and it's Shakespeare, and it's great, and I'd love to do it again because I think I've learned so much since then and would do things differently.
Yeah.
Monstrous was just a fun bit of nonsense that I had no idea what was going on the whole time, which is great. Nell Gwyn was great. It was like such a uplifting. I mean, she dies at the end, but an uplifting play. It was funny. It had loads of music in it. Yeah, it's all been good.
Amazing. So let's talk Tempest. So for anyone who maybe hasn't studied Shakespeare since school, give us the Dan summary version.
I knew you were going to ask me this. Gonna absolutely embarrass.
For anyone, obviously for all our listeners, you can't see Dan's face right now. Dan literally just starts shaking his head at me, being like, no, please. So come on, Dan, give us the Tempest in Dan language. What is this story?
As a former English literature student, I'm going to embarrass myself here. I generally do not know. So it is comedy. It is by Shakespeare. There is a shipwreck.
Yep.
From Milan.
Yes.
At the start of the play, and all these people end up on the island. There's an evil man called Prospero on the island. No, I'm kidding. Lovely man Prospero on the island. There's an evil man, Caliban, on the island. And angels and sprites, goddesses, and yeah, just it all unfolds.
Yeah, that is really. That's a good. I'm going to compare this description to what Becky did on our episode on the Tempest. If you haven't listened to that one, give that a listen after you finish listening to this one, because Becky then goes into a really elaborate description of the Tempest.
I love Shakespeare. It's not my favourite Shakespeare. There's my defence of this.
That's absolutely fine. That is okay. So I think that's a fairly whistle stop tour. To be honest, I'm exactly the same. I started this not really knowing this Shakespeare. I know of others better, but this is not my first choice of play for Shakespeare either. So I was very much like, okay, I'm open to figuring out what is going on here. By show week, we will know what's going on. Or like Monstrous, you won't, and that's okay.
That's fine.
So you're playing Caliban. So I'm hoping you know who he is and his background. Yeah. You got an idea. So for anyone who doesn't know, who is Caliban? What is Caliban? Like villain, victim, both?
We'll be here for hours because it depends how you look at him.
Yeah.
He's got some villainous traits.
Yeah.
Shall we say? Mm-hmm. But I would say you can see him as a victim.
Yeah.
Of Prospero personally. So he's the antagonist in this play, really, on Prospero, who kind of rightfully, in the context of the Tempest, when you know the story, doesn't like him. And treats him a bit like a slave and punishes him. And Caliban basically feels that Prospero's taking everything that's his. The island is his. It's his world. It's from his mother. And then he resents Prospero for taking over that control from him. He's a challenging character. I think some of his stanzas, that's the wrong word. Some of his speeches are quite eloquent and poetic in parts. He kind of changes up a bit, and I think you only get that when you perform it.
Yeah.
I always think Shakespeare's not to be read.
Yeah. Really,
it was meant to be performed, and you notice in rehearsals, at first people have no idea what's going on with their characters or what something means, and then when you get up and start to perform it, you're like, oh, okay, I see where we're going here. I see what he or she's saying 100%. Here. And people get really intimidated by Shakespeare. And it's not that intimidating because he gives you everything in the text, all the pauses, the stanzas, the iambic pentameter. He gives you so much in the language of what to do with your character once you start performing it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what attracted you to want to play Caliban?
Well, I was a little bit too young to play Prospero, I thought. So, no, I wanted to do something different and something that was more challenging. Caliban and Becky wanted, still wants.
She wanted, now she's like,
We'll get round to it one day. More of a physical presence and a physical character, and that's something I really struggle with. Like when you've done workshops and stuff, like Lambert, I think it's called. I find that really hard to be physical. So I thought that'd be a really good challenge. I quite like being a bad guy.
Yeah.
As well, I think it's more fun.
There's a lot of levels, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't always want to be a goody two shoes on stage because you don't have any fun.
No, 100% agree with that. Because I feel like, obviously, when we first started and we did auditions and everything for The Tempest, everyone was sort of like, oh, yeah, well, we don't really mind. Because no one really understood it well enough to be devout to a character. But you were always quite sure that you wanted to do.
I think everyone always says, I don't know though, because there's like a confidence.
Yeah.
You don't want to say, oh, I really want to do this role, and then you don't get it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And everyone's really supportive here anyway. If you wanted to do something, no one would think differently or not want you to get that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like I don't know The Tempest. I do know The Tempest. And I looked at the character list and what I'd like to do, and that's why I was attracted to Caliban. It's quite a famous role as well.
Yeah.
And of course, I love being antagonist to Mike, clearly, historically on the stage in the Georgian. So
every time.
Why not? What's the word? Why stop?
Why not break?
Why break a habit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because like in Monstrous Regiment as well, most recently, I guess, you were playing Lieutenant Blouse against Mike's Sergeant Jackram, and I was like his daughter figure in that as well, and which I am in this one. So, and again, we don't actually really interact that much in this one.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God, indeed, because I had enough of you last summer.
Yeah.
And on that note, we will break off for a moment and we'll be back to chat more about The Tempest and rehearsals and all things Shakespeare. Fancy supporting RADS and getting a little something back? Join the RADS Friends scheme. It's a great way to help keep live theatre thriving in Richmond. As a friend, you'll get a monthly newsletter, your name in our show programmes, and exclusive access to our club nights and activities. All that for just £12 a year or £20 per couple, due every 1st of June. Whether you're a current member or just a loyal audience regular, we'd love to have you as a friend of RADS. To find out more or join, just contact our Friends and Membership Secretary, Greg and Davis. You'll find all the details on our website or in the show notes below. Thanks for supporting local theatre. Now, back to the episode. Welcome back. So, we've obviously touched on the fact that Becky wants still presently, a very, like, a lot of physicality in Caliban. What's been the hardest part for you so far then? Because like you say, it's not maybe one of your initial strong things. You wanted to work on it. You wanted to challenge yourself with it. What's been the hardest bit so far?
Lines. My word. Cue biting. I think that because a lot of my stuff is interjecting other people.
Yeah.
And I find speeches I'm fine with. I think it's easier to learn a speech because it's just you.
Yeah.
But when you've got other people, I find I learn it by doing it with the people.
Yep.
And obviously when you go away and learn it by yourself, it's not the same. But we're getting there with that. The physicality is a big challenge. It's a challenge on how to do it comfortably. So my back doesn't break. But also how to not overdo it and how to also move. So I have some claws. I have a beautiful wig, which I'm looking forward to wearing. That is longer than my height, I think. And just putting it all together. But as soon as we've got the books down, it's already more freeing to do things and to interact. Yeah, the whole thing's a challenge.
Yeah. I think, yeah, because your audition was impressive with the physicality. Dan auditioned and literally, like, I don't know how to describe the movement. It was sort of a cross between a crab and like a gorilla, I'm gonna say. It was a very like low, like
fair.
I'm doing the movements, but you can't see them. But it was a very like low, like almost like a crawl, but moving quickly, and it was very impressive. I just walked across. I was like, all right, okay. But yeah, it's really tricky. I think when you've got such a physical character, because you've got to, when you're, I don't know about you, but when I'm learning lines, I learn them mostly by standing in the right places with the people in rehearsal. I rarely have to look at a script outside of I'm very lucky in that respect. But when you're playing such a physical role, if you can't be crawling around on the floor at home learning. Well, I mean, you could, but you might look a bit strange. So it's that sort of thing as well, as that adds an extra level of difficulty, because when you've got that physicality, it adds an extra layer of, okay, that's another thing to think about. How am I getting there? Because I can't just walk. I've got to crawl or struggle or, yeah, so 100%. We've obviously been rehearsing this for 2 months now. Was it 2 months? What month is it? June. We finished Mirror Cracked in March, April, May, June. Maybe nearly 3 months.
No, we started late, didn't we, than normal?
It must be 2. I think it's about 2 months. We'll go with 2.
Yeah, Becky, it's been a month, so.
Becky, it's only been 2 weeks, Becky. Like, calm down, it's fine. What's been your favourite rehearsal moment so far?
Oh, I don't know, because I can't give away.
No spoilers.
Yeah, it's parts of the play that you can't give away. The story's there, but bits that's in it, I can't give away. It's just been a good laugh, hasn't it? Everyone's supportive. We've not had the crazy rehearsal yet.
No, we haven't.
Where everything goes wrong and everyone corpses, and the director, you can just see the blood drain from their face. We've not had one. There's always one of those, and we've not had that yet.
It's nice that we're anticipating it, though.
I'm looking forward to that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. We also mentioned earlier about how Shakespeare is quite an intimidating name, I think, in theatre. I think a lot of actors sort of hear it and they're either like, oh, that's so exciting, or hear it and go, nope. What's your advice for someone that does find it intimidating? Obviously, you said how when you learn it, it's better, but if anyone's sort of thinking about potentially doing a Shakespeare in the future, what would your advice be?
Just jump into it. It's the funnest one to do, I think, Shakespeare, because you just perform it. So as soon as you stand up and read it out loud and work with other people, it comes alive. And it's different to a contemporary text, I think, where you have to think more about what you're doing in the context and where things are and why you're saying certain things. In Shakespeare, it's all there in the text.
Yeah.
And that's all I could say for that. I think it's...
No, that's fair enough. What's your favourite then? Because you said that this wasn't your favourite. What is your favourite? What's your favourite Shakespeare?
I quite like a few. I quite like As You Like It. Macbeth is my all-time favourite, I think. I think that one's just so rich in the language and the themes in it, the murder, the betrayal, Lady Macbeth being such a conniving, manipulative, power-hungry woman. The sadness in it, and there's a lot of truth in it, and I sound really actory there.
No, yeah.
I also like Julius Caesar, and I think to do like Mark Antony in a production would be great. And I think you've got to be a lot wiser and older to give that justice, I think.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I mean, like, you know this anyway, but I've been seeing, before I was even part of RADS, I'd come to watch some RADS shows because I had friends that were in RADS, and I'd come to see Macbeth, and because it is also my favourite Shakespeare, for very similar reasons. But I came to watch it, and I've talked about it a lot on the podcast, actually. It was amazing. It was so good. It was that sort of thing of when you watch something and you just believe it. And I think with Shakespeare, it's really easy to believe it if it's done right. You can watch it, and although you can read it and go, this makes no sense, if done properly, you are watching something that you actually really think is true, and you feel everything from the grief to the elation to the betrayal. You can feel so much in one play, and it's really powerful when it's done well. So hopefully we do the Tempest justice. There's a bit less. I was going to say there's a bit less betrayal, but actually this entire play is a betrayal.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of.
And I think what you said earlier about advice, and I think where it clicks is when you're not acting. And I think when you realise you're not acting. So I guess in Macbeth, I hated. Just shout out to Scott as well in Macbeth, because Scott was just fantastic
Phenomenal.
and stole the show every night as Macduff. But I really hated doing Is This a Dagger I See Before Me, because I felt so much pressure from that scene.
It was phenomenal, by the way.
And
He was amazing.
I knew I was acting in that. You don't know about the time where I started getting changed for another scene and forgot I had to do that, and I had to run back on the stage. Whereas when Lady Macbeth dies, a poor player who on the stage, that bit I really enjoyed, and I never felt like I was acting that bit when I did it, and I felt like I was in the moment. And I think it's when you realise you're not acting. And I think I've noticed that loads in rehearsal parts where I know I'm acting.
Yeah.
And other bits I'm like, that's flowing.
I think that comes with rehearsal though as well, doesn't it? Because like at the beginning, you're constantly thinking, oh God, where am I standing? What am I doing? What line is next? Even when you're not speaking, you're thinking, what's going on? Where am I going after this? You can't turn it off because you don't have your script in your hand to tell you. So you're literally just going in your head a million miles a minute. And I think there's something really rewarding as an actor when you're performing and you go up on that stage and you are in a scene and you come off stage and you go, that was so easy. That felt so natural to do that. And like, you're exactly right. It's that thing of like, actually, I'm not acting anymore, because as soon as the overture starts, as soon as the curtain goes up, you are that character, and you've sort of all those like million thoughts of what am I doing, where am I going, what's next. It's all second nature. You don't have to think about it because you're just being.
Yeah, and all you're doing is reacting to the other person.
Yeah.
And I think you can't be thinking about what your next line is, even though you will be. Because like Bill Nye talks about how he stands and like, I need to get over there. I need to go do this light switch. I need to do A, B, C, D, and calls the other stuff nonsense. Whereas I disagree and say you're reacting to the other person. And if the other person gives you something different, so you may have rehearsed something a certain way and they've had the same tone or the same inflection, and then on the night they give you something else, you should react to that, in my opinion. That gives you a really authentic thing, again, a true thing to go off. And I think the audience feel that. They've no idea what you've got planned. They've no idea what's rehearsed. And I always think this, if you miss a line or make a mistake, because we all do it, they do not know that.
Nope.
And I never noticed the audience.
Yeah.
To me, but I think it's reacting. It's about receiving from the other person and then giving.
Yeah.
And we're going for a high level
I
actory here, but it's great.
I
think that's the best parts when you're on stage and in rehearsal. Sometimes you get those moments. And I guess if people sometimes, why do people like acting and such like that? I think it's that. It's those moments that you get where you're just like, oh, that just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. For anyone still deciding why to get tickets, why should they come and see The Tempest, Dan?
They should come and see the mighty gallant? They should come and see the mighty, brave, heroic Caliban fend off the evil Prospero from his island.
Will he succeed?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But if you want to come for a great night's entertainment, some fantastic acting, direction, stage management, costumes, shout out to Georgie, and Georgie and a team who are just tremendous at creating some world-class costumes. Come along and support your favourite Caliban.
Perfect. We'll be back in a minute with our famous quickfire round. Looking for a fun way to spend a Monday evening? Come along to our monthly Rads Club Nights, held on the second Monday of every month at the Club Rooms. Whether you're a seasoned performer or just theatre curious, everyone's welcome, member or not. We've got all sorts of drama-filled fun, from script read-throughs to games, workshops and more. It's relaxed, it's social, it's theatrical, and we'd love to see you there. Keep an eye on our socials for times and themes, and come and join the Rad's madness. Right, here we go. No thinking, quick fire round, 5 questions, first thing that comes to your head. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That wasn't the first question. Are we ready? First question. Favourite Shakespeare character ever?
Macbeth.
Favourite line in The Tempest?
Be not afeard, the isle is full of noises.
Amazing. Most likely cast member to survive a real shipwreck?
Carol. I don't know why. I just feel that it'll be Carol.
Fair enough. Dream role ever, Shakespeare or not, whatever.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. Most likely cast member to become ruler of an island?
Alan.
Amazing. Dan, thank you so much for joining me. The Tempest runs from the 23rd to the 25th of July and the 29th of July to the 1st of August at the Georgian Theatre Royal in Richmond, North Yorkshire. Tickets are available now and we hope to see you there. I've been Chloe, he's been Dan, and this has been Backstage at the Club Rooms. See you next time.